It's 37 days until Election Day, 3 days until the first presidential debate. But this morning, a stark reminder of the longest war in American history. The American military death toll inside Afghanistan has now reached 2,000. Let's get right to that developing news. NBC's Atia Abawi is in Kabul, Afghanistan. Mike Vakira standing by for us at the White House. Atia, let me start with you. What happened with this latest attack?
Hi there, Craig. Well, this occurred yesterday in Wardak province, just west of the capital, Kabul. It happened at a checkpoint on Highway 1, apparently a new checkpoint where Americans were there apparently training Afghan security forces. There were American service members as well as contractors at that checkpoint. They were approached by Afghan soldiers. Apparently a conversation ensued, and then an Afghan soldier then fired at the Americans, killing one of the service members and a contractor that was there to train the Afghan security forces. The Americans then fired back at the Afghans, killing at least 3 of them. This makes it the 38th insider attack that we've seen in Afghanistan this year alone, killing at least 53 coalition service members and contractors as well. This is a disturbing trend that we've seen this year, considering back in 2007 we only saw 2 such attacks, and it's eroding the trust really between the Afghan soldiers and the American and their American counterparts. And the Americans don't really know if they can actually trust the people that they're fighting alongside of them.
Atia, what type of precautions are commanders in the field taking to try and prevent some of these insider attacks?
Well, Craig, they are taking precautions. They have these guardian soldiers, guardian angels, actually, that go along with these Americans just in case an attack like this happened. This, of course, just started this year because of this drastic increase. And in the last couple of weeks, we actually noticed that they stopped most joint Afghan and U.S. patrols. The Americans say that they've restarted those, but it shows just the lack of trust that is between the Afghans and the Americans right now. Craig?
Atia Abawi in Kabul for us. Atia, please stay safe. Thank you, as always, for your reporting there. To the White House now. NBC's Mike Vakira standing by there. Mike, has there been any reaction from the White House today on this specifically?
Well, we haven't heard a lot of this specifically. There were some sketchy reports about what Atia was saying initially, some reports that it could have been instigated by Afghan insurgents, and as Atia has just reported, that's been downplayed now by the U.S. military, and that in fact it was another one of these unfortunate green-on-blue attacks. You know, the administration had suspended, there was a stand-down of training of Afghan forces for quite some time that had just been lifted. The fact that the surge has just ended, it was just last week, Craig, when the administration noted that the 33,000 American troops that had been sent in there some 2 years ago, a little bit less than 2 years ago, as part of the surge that authored by President Obama had come out. The president never ceases to point out on the campaign trail and elsewhere that he has ended the war in Iraq, he's ended the war in Afghanistan. 2 years hence, U.S. combat troops are expected to be pulled out of Afghanistan in 2014. So obviously this presents some problems, as well as the grim facts on the ground. With these horrific green-on-blue attacks, Craig.
Vic, how much is the president's team anticipating the war in Afghanistan will play in the debates Wednesday?
Well, I think it plays into the larger foreign policy picture, and certainly it's a mixed bag at this point. The president, as I pointed out, frequently pointing out that he has a plan to bring American combat troops out of Afghanistan by the end of 2014. He's talked about his success in bringing American combat troops out of Iraq. He's talked about some of the successes up until recently in endorsing the Arab Spring in Libya and Tunisia, to a certain extent in Egypt. But certainly the situation in Libya right now, nothing more needs to be said about that. It's become a political as well as a security football now. And the volatile situation in Syria, which is very much unsettled.
Mike Vakira at the White House for us on this Sunday afternoon. Vic, thank you.